What you guys, got another camera review. This is the Muson MC2 4K Sports Action Camera. Now this is a 12 megapixel camera. You can see it comes in many different colors here, and this is probably one of the best cheapest cameras on the market right now. This is around £60, and you can see the specs here. Does 4K at 25 frames per second, 2K at 30 frames per second, 1080p at 60 frames per second, 720p at 120 frames per second. It's H.264. It also has a 170-degree lens on it. Does up to 30 meters under the water. Does have Wi-Fi, and also the storage takes up to 32 gigabytes. Battery is 1050 milliamps. So what we're going to do here is a full review. We're going to unbox it, and also you can see all the mounting brackets that you're going to get inside here. We're going to unbox it and then do some tests with it as well, do some video footage and some photographs. Now this little pouch you get here is some sort of fabric, which is a really nice feature because you'll be able to pack all your camera and its components all in one place and take it on holiday with you, which means it's safe from sand getting in there and stuff like that. So that is a nice feature as well. You can see it's packed with little mounting brackets and attachments for motorbikes, motorbike handlebars, bicycles, you name it, belts, dash cam brackets, any sort of bracket that you want you can get. And you can also get more of these as well, so I'll just pull some of these out the bag here. Now they are all listed in the video and also in the user manual, which will give you all the information about what brackets are and what they do. This one is particularly useful because you can mount it on a tripod, and you can also use it as a dash cam holder for a car, which you'll see later on. Now this is a nice little feature, having a remote control, which is at this price point at £60 I think is pretty good, because you don't normally get a remote control with these either. Now it does come with 2 batteries and also a battery charger, as you can see here, which is another nice feature because you don't normally get that in a lot of other models on the market. You have to charge it via when it's inside the actual camera itself into the computer, which can be a bit of a pain. Now you do get 2 batteries with this, as I said, and these 2 batteries are lithium batteries, and they are 1050 milliamps and 3.7 volts, which are rechargeable, which means you can use one and charge one at the same time, which means you've got constant recording time, which is really useful if you're on holiday and stuff like that. So that's why I like having a couple of extra batteries. You can always buy more and they're pretty cheap to buy. Now this is the actual camera itself. It does come in a waterproof casing, which is pretty good, and up to 10 meters, which is 33 feet. And I've done a lot of diving with these particular types of cameras, and they're pretty useful, and they don't leak when you're going down pretty deep as well, which is also nice. They also chuck in a little lens cleaner here with a little strap, which is used for the camera, just in case you're going under the water and you drop it, you won't lose your camera. A couple of helmet sticky pads here to put them on crash helmets and stuff like that, and also a spare back plate for the closed water housing unit, which is good for a spare just in case you break one. And there's also some velcro straps here and some other type straps, and also your charging cable. Now these straps are going to be useful in case you need to strap it to something, and there's also a charging cable which you're going to need to charge your batteries, which it does come with its own charger, or you can just charge it inside the camera depending on what way you want to do it. Now there's also some other brackets inside here, which are some handlebar brackets as well, which are useful for motorbikes or cycling bikes or stuff like that, and some other bits and pieces. It's all listed inside the user manual. You're going to get your user manual as well, which gives you all the information you're going to need about time lapse, and this will give you all the time lapse in seconds, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, and so on. And it's also going to give you information about your remote and how to set up your time lapse, and all the basics that you'll need, and the package contents with all the brackets is all inside there that you're going to need to know about, and how to set up your phone in general and use the menu system. Everything is inside here. It's really easily laid out and well laid out in color as well. Some bracket mountings which you can use for certain scenarios, so you've got pretty much a bracket for just about everything there. And it also tells you about charging your phone and storage, and how to insert your right storage and which one you need, i.e. class 10, that's the best one you want to get your hands on, so it works properly and nice and fast, especially with 4K content. Now also we mentioned the charger, which is very useful because you don't get chargers in all of the camera kits, and this one does come with its own charger, which is pretty useful because it allows you to charge batteries and use batteries at the same time. You get 2 batteries in this kit, and you can see the charging port here. You can just plug this into any sort of plug or something like that, which you can then charge the actual battery, and you should have plenty of charge. But this is everything you're going to get. And let's take a look at that camera. So you can see here, this is the actual power button to power the actual unit on, and you've got your button here to take shots and stuff like that, and you've also got your menu buttons here which allow you to go through the menu, and a bracket system here which is changeable as well with other parts that you can change on here. Now this is your lens, as you can see here, and it's a 12 megapixel lens here, and you can open it up by just pulling this lever back. Now some of these can be pretty tricky, but you just pull it back until it unclips, and once you get this unclipped at the bottom of the back plate there, it should come loose, and it should release pretty easily like that. Now a good tip for you here, if you're going to be using this in the sea, make sure that you wash out the housing with the camera removed, so remove any salt, because salt is quite corrosive and it will shorten the life of your little housing here. Also you can see an LED light on top here. This will go red when you're recording. You can see a little snapshot button. This does burst fire for photos, and it also records all the frames per second and resolutions on the screen, which you can see, which we've already mentioned. You've got your power button and mode button there with an LED light. It also does Wi-Fi as well, which is very useful, which connects to any Android or iPhone or something like that. You've got a 170 degree wide angle lens, which is really useful for action cams and also for dash cams. And again, we've already mentioned that you do get a couple of batteries in here and a charger, which is really nice. So the 2-inch TFT LCD display here is very useful and easy to see inside the housing or on its own when it's outside. And again, this does support up to a 32 gigabyte card. Make sure it's 10 times class, okay, because of 4K content. It will need to be pretty fast to record that content onto the actual card itself. Otherwise you're going to run into problems. So let's power the actual camera on and take a look at the actual menu system here so you can see what it's got to offer. Now I'm pretty impressed with this, to be honest, because it does a pretty good job at what it needs to do, and especially at £60. I mean, you're getting a lot of camera for a very little bit of money, so it's probably one of the best I've used so far at that price point. Now you can see you're getting a load of buttons on the side here. These are your menu buttons to navigate through your menu, and the audio on this is pretty decent as well. You can see the battery slot here. This just pulls out, pretty easy to do, and also you've got your little HDMI slot there, and also little charging port with a micro SD card slot there as well. Now again, once you power this on and you start recording, you can get into the settings here, and you can change the resolution to your video, and this goes up to 4K as we've mentioned earlier on. Again, I did find the 4K and 2K pretty nice. It was okay, and the 60 frames 1080p, I mean, that's pretty much ample for what you need really on most little cameras. But if you wanted to go down to 720 120 frames, you can do, but if you're doing I suppose action stuff, I suppose 1080p at 60 frames would be plenty. You've got looping video here, timestamp. You can change the exposure here as well, and also the photo resolution, which is 4K, and also you can see your burst photo. It does nice burst photos, takes a string of photos one after the other. Time lapse, continuous lapse, power frequency, plenty of languages in there, and also date and time and sound indicator. Now upside down mode is pretty good for dash cams, screensaver, power saver, reset and version. And also this does come with an easy cam app, works with Android and iOS, which is good if you want to control your camera from your phone and you can see it, and it's pretty easy to set up as well. Now also, again, we can take a look at the back here display. Once you've got all your settings right, you'll see we're in video mode. It will tell you how much time you've got and what setting you're on, 1080p by 60 frames. Also tells you the battery how much battery you got and how much space you've got left on your card. Now again, this little bracket here can be used as a dash cam, and I've turned it into upside down mode, and this dash cam holder is around about £5, and you can get them on Amazon or eBay. I'll try and leave a link in the description for you. But once you've got it in that upside down mode, you can see the camera's upside down, but the screen is going to record in the right manner. And this means you can put it up to the top of the car on the window, and you can use it as a dash cam, and it does pretty good. So we're going to take a look at some footage in a minute. Now I'm also going to give you some audio test on the microphone. So this is a sound test, as you can see here. Driving along, get you the sound so you can hear what the sound's like or audio's like inside the car. And again, we're in dash cam mode basically, with the camera upside down so you can hear everything that's going on in the car. And it's a pretty overcast day today. It's a pretty overcast day today, and as you can see, I'm not sure what the quality's like, but we're running at 1080p at 60 frames per second, and it does do 2K and 4K, but you obviously don't want to be doing that when you're driving. So let's go have a look at some recorded footage here while standing still. You can see 4K rendered down to 1080p 30 frames per second, and YouTube will also compress this down even further, and I think it still looks pretty good for a 4K rendered video. And also you can hear the birds chirping in the background. What a lovely view that is right there. And also what we're going to do next is take a look at some 2K footage. Now this is some 2K rendered down to 1080p at 30 frames per second, so you're going to get a little bit of loss of quality, and also YouTube is going to compress that even further, so you might not see the true reflection of what this camera actually offers. And remember guys, this is a £60 camera kit, which I think is absolutely awesome for the price. It also takes good photographs as well. As you can see here, these are good 4K quality photos which I took with this particular camera as well, which I think is pretty damn good for 60 quid. Now this is the nighttime view, and you can see the orange lamps here, which is a different type. It's more like a dusk sort of view here. So as you can see, the orange lamps are making the picture slight orange, and because it's slightly dusk, and the window screen isn't as clean as it should be on the inside, as you can see the smears there, but it is doing a pretty good job, and you can see everything that's going on. Now this is in a different type of lighting effect here. As you can see, we're moving along to another area, and it's getting a little bit more darker, as you can see, and the road's more darker, but it is a lot more clearer in this sort of view here. Now this is without any street lights, as you can see, and you can still see cars, but because there's no street lights in this area and it's getting quite dark now, it's very hard to see what it's recording. But it would record something when it comes close up, so it still would record what you need it to record. So now we're moving into a suburban area with the new LED lights in the street lamps. As you can see, it's much better than those orange lights, and the picture is nice and clear, and you can see the road nice and clearly, apart from the screen, which is pretty smeared. But other than that, you can see what you need to see, and if there was ever an incident, you'll be fine because you're recording it all. Now this is moving into a more floodlit area of a town. As you can see here, pretty bright and vibrant, and this will pick up just about everything you need it to pick up, so you should be good to go from here. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video guys. I try to cover as much as I can. My name is Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. Thanks again for watching. Bye for now.